Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia and for today's video I thought I would just do a recap of everything that I've crocheted this week. I initially wanted to start this video at the beginning of the week and do it in a vlog style, but that didn't happen, so I'm just gonna do a recap of everything that I crocheted this week. We're going to be starting off with a pattern test that I did for Gracely Crochets. This was not my first pattern test. I have done a few pattern tests by now, so I think this was my fourth one, and I have a video about pattern testing coming up, so stay tuned for that and be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. But this pattern test was a bit of a step up for me. I would classify it as more of an intermediate pattern, and it's Dixie the Dragon. I'll give you a moment to admire her because she is simply beautiful. I would say it's more of an intermediate pattern because there are a lot of pieces to sew on and there are techniques like color changes involved. So I would not advise a beginner to pick this up as maybe their first project unless they feel very confident or they have crocheted other kinds of things before. But for me, at my current skill level, I thought that Dixie was just the right amount of challenge and the end product is so rewarding. It was also my first time being in a chat group with all the other testers, so it was really fun to see all the progress updates, to know what yarn everybody was using, and to see the final pictures pop up every now and then. I think a chat group is such a great way for the testers to support each other, and there's just that little tiny bit of good peer pressure as well to ensure that you finish the project on time. While making Dixie, I was just so afraid that I would run out of the dusty blue color yarn because I only had one skein of it left. It is the baby snuggle yarn, and I'm so glad that I managed to finish Dixie without running out of the yarn. I think if I ran out of that yarn, I would have been so stressed because it would take a little while to get that yarn from Hobby. So I'm really glad that it all worked out. Let me tell you my favorite part about this pattern, and I think it's genius. I did not have to sew these 4 legs into the body of the dragon because after I finish the legs, I single crochet across, and then while I'm making the body, I crochet them into the body, and I think that that is just such a genius way to decrease the amount of sewing that is required for the dragon. By the way, it is the year of the dragon, and that's why dragon patterns are so popular at the moment. Earlier this year, I made a video on free dragon crochet patterns, so definitely go and check out that video. It was my first video to get a lot of views, and I think it's worth checking out. Yeah, so Dixie was my first creation of the week. It took me 3 days to finish Dixie, and once she was done, I happened to bring her to work because I wanted to take nice pictures of her. And at the office, my colleagues saw her, and one colleague asked whether I was going to sell the dragon, and I said probably not, but he was like, why? I would buy this in a shop, and that made me feel really flattered. But I feel like I'm still not at a stage where I want to sell my crocheted items. I am, however, happy to make gifts for friends and family, and that is what I was doing for the rest of the week. So let me show you the other things that I crocheted. I made this little panda maybe 2 months ago. The pattern is a free one by Umiknots, and I haven't shown it to you guys because I wanted to save it for a panda video that I'm planning to make at some point. It's been so long and I still haven't completed my little panda army, so it's gonna take a while, but that video will eventually come out and I will talk more about this panda when I get there. But this panda is going to go to my little niece who absolutely adores pandas. I think she has lots of panda toys already, but she wanted this specific one and I decided that I had to make it ASAP for her, and I'm glad I did because I really enjoyed this pattern, so definitely go and check this out. One of our Malaysian friends here in the UK asked if I could crochet the alien from Toy Story. He told me to feel free to be creative with it, and he also sent some sample photos that I could potentially refer to. So I had a go at making this. It's supposed to be the alien head in mochi form, but it's kind of large, and I used the Bao pattern by Mary Mix as a base for this and kind of modified it a little to make it my own, and obviously added 3 eyes. These white rings around the safety eye are magic rings, and I'm just not happy with this prototype because firstly the color is off. The aliens are kind of a lime green and this is more of a mint green, so it doesn't really work, and I have so many things that I would like to change about the eyes. So I've placed an order for lime green yarn and I'm hoping to get that soon so that I can make another go at creating the alien. Who knows, I might create this dumpling form. I might make it smaller so that it's more similar to the mochi sample photo that he sent to me, or I might crochet the alien itself. I really haven't decided yet, but I have a bunch of patterns saved up that I can potentially refer to. So this is a work in progress and I'm going to keep working on that. The next thing that I tried to crochet was for one of my high school friends. She reached out to me and said that she would love to have a whale ornament for her Christmas tree or a koala. So I looked up some whale patterns and I wanted to crochet the whale using the leftover dusty blue baby snuggle yarn from making Dixie the Dragon. But in the middle of the project, I ran out of yarn for the first time in my crochet journey, and I have no idea what to do now because I don't have a lot of blue yarn stocked up. While I feel like this could potentially still be a mini whale if I just add white and then maybe use this to make the tails and fins, I feel like it could work, but it wouldn't be the design that I want, and I would need to buy more yarn in order to complete this project or in order to make a new wheel. So I'm just gonna put this aside and see what to do about that. But in the meantime, I got started on the koala. And for the koala, I followed a video tutorial by Fancy Lama to make this little guy. I love that he is asleep because, as you know, koalas sleep 20 hours a day or something ridiculous like that. I didn't like how small his ears were, so I added another round of white after sewing the gray onto the head. And then I realized that it kind of looks funny, so I'm gonna try making another one, and perhaps this time I will use white on the inside and gray on the outside, and I think that will look more like a proper koala. So this one is just going to stay with me while I make a new one to be given to my friend. If you watched my video on crochet pillows some time ago, you know that I made a jumbo waffle by Little World of Whimsy, and I fell in love with the waffle stitch, which is why I had to make a waffle coaster. Let me grab that. There's a little waffle coaster. This waffle stitch is just to die for, and my sister loves it too, so she asked me to crochet a waffle for her too. And I decided to use the same baby snuggle yarn in curry, so I made this. And for both of these, I was using the same pattern by Little World of Whimsy, but the only difference is that for this bigger one, I was using a 5mm hook, whereas for this one, it was a 4mm hook. And you can see that the size difference is really quite obvious. But my sister said she didn't mind just a small one, and she said it could just be single-sided as well. So this is the completed project that I'm going to pass to her. The last thing that I made this week is actually my favorite one. My husband and I were having dinner with a couple of friends, and one of them showed a picture of this positive poo. So I crocheted this little poo. The original pattern is by Stringy Ding Ding, but I freehanded the arms and added them on, and I think it makes it look super adorable. And of course, the poo needs to hold this sign that says, "I may be a tiny poo, but I believe in you. Go do your bleep." I think this is super adorable, and it's the perfect gift for that friend in your life. I know everyone has that friend that needs to hear this message. So those were all the things that I crocheted this week. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for hanging out with me, and be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss my other videos. See you in the next one.